now. Can't deal the Maroon ground, so I send it 3 times for a week.
So
come down, you know.
Separate the rice from the meat.
Royal kitchen and make them separate the rice from the meat. No little joke. Sit down and pull your meat. The things in nobody a dog go here.
Now welcome back to another Exclusive for Life. Now blessing goes out to all my viewers and all my subbies, all my well wishers. Like, share and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. Coming up in today's topic and review. Even this increase, while them go wake up the beast.
Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, on behalf of indigenous people of a compound and the wider Maroon districts of Cockpit country, I send sincere appreciation for your recent visit to our community and for the government of Jamaica's expression of support following the destruction caused by Hurricane Melissa. Your presence accompanied by the several ministers of government.
Now blessing my viewers and my subscribers. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another exclusive hot topic discussion and review. Now my viewers and my subscribers, in my last broadcast I show you where the Maroon chief, Mr. Curry, got a visit from the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Now Mr. Curry knows that the Prime Minister in recent years have always tried to take his land, the Maroon land, the indigenous land, because of all the goodness, the minerals that up in the Cockpit country.
The Maroon communities are an important part of the cultural heritage of Jamaica. There is significant value there. There is significant value there.
Now, when we consider that Mr. Curry say he's a leader, we see him on the campaign speaking against the Prime Minister. I can't believe I'm seeing with my eyes when I see Mr. Curry, you know, met number 28 come up at the Cockpit country, disrespect his security. I'm going 17. Excuse me. And then him go sit down on table and sign paper with number 28. Now people, you know that once you sign, you know, once you sign a thing, you can't go back and come chat crap, you know, cause you put your signature there, so. Now I want you to take a lesson to what the Prime Minister said to Chief Curry when he went up to their compound. Bear in mind, Chief Curry knows say number 28 offer him, yeah, want him property, want come take over their compound, and you as the chief see this man come into your home, your community, your place, and said these things to you on international television, and you don't make a stand right there in his face and say no. You later on come back on the internet and making this statement. Before we make a ENQUIRY statement, I want you to listen to everything the Prime Minister said to Chief Curry in his face. Yeah? Listen and remember, you know the reputation of this man. Listen to what Andrew Holness said to Chief Curry first, before we make it hear what Chief Curry coming out and saying now.
We hear the Prime Minister here. Let me be clear. The government is responsible for everything. overall, but it doesn't negate the duty of each citizen to try as best as they can within their means to help themselves. And it doesn't negate the need for communities to come together and help themselves. That is what makes Jamaica strong. When communities, we used to call it a name, Chief. Somehow we forget that name. Self-reliance, self-sufficiency. We replace it with another word now, we call it resilience. The ability to recover from disaster and recover stronger. But we mustn't forget that that has been our route, to be self-reliant. But having said that, there is a certain level of damage that individuals can't overcome. There's a certain level of damage that communities can't overcome. As the principal pointed out to me, and your chief pointed out to me, you're looking forward to January 6th. You're looking forward to your celebration. And as you are putting in your own effort, as a community, you still need electricity. And it is not Chief Curry or many factors from overseas who can do that. It has to be the government that works very quickly to try to establish that. You need water, your schools, you need the agricultural restoration, the restoration of your roads and commerce. These are things that the government has to do. But can you imagine if we are all working in concert? You do what you can do, and government does what it is supposed to do, how quickly and how more effectively the recovery can happen. It would appear sometimes that there are those who want to create a difference between the people and their government. That can't work.
Now, Mr. Curry, the Prime Minister just said to you, you know, that you are not a sovereign nation. Mr. Curry, do you accept that?
The people and the government must be one, especially in times of disaster. Now, I will be the first to say, having visited here many times and participated in the celebrations here many times, the Maroon communities are an important part of the cultural heritage of Jamaica. There is significant value there. There is significant value there. There is significant value there. It has not always been the case, and I believe this is part of Chief Curry's consideration, that it has been acknowledged and supported in the ways that it should.
The Prime Minister says where relief supplies are concerned, coupons or digital cards will be made available to residents of a compound to access these supplies.
So my question is, without a digital card, you won't be able to accept food. You won't be able to get no food without this card. Now, Chief Curry, are you gonna subject your people them, the Maroon people them, to this?
He also told the audience that the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Auburn Hill, will be tasked with getting into the community and working to get the shops, the small businesses running again so that commercial activity can begin apace.
But Chief Curry used a term which I quite like. He said this is an opportunity for a reset. And so is the hurricane. When I visited here many times before, one of the things I'm always impressed with is the Cockpit country and how beautiful a forest it is. We have lost 51% of our forests because of Hurricane Melissa. It has destroyed, if you look right throughout, the number of trees and natural habitat that it has destroyed. But this is part of nature. The forest will grow again, and it will grow even more, because that's just how nature is. And so it is, as the forest is given an opportunity to reset and to grow and to flourish, so it is with the relationships across Jamaica with communities that may never had the attention of the government before, as it should have. Now is an opportunity to reset, reconnect, rebuild them better than before. So I want to announce here, therefore, that I will be assigning the JDF with some of its engineering corps to assist in the restoration of roofs that can be restored, to immediately start your recovery so that you can get ready for January 6th. There are several other engineering corps that are coming in. We have offers from Ethiopia, from Ghana, from Rwanda, and several other countries have said that they would be willing to come.
Well, several other countries like what? Like from Israel?
And as soon as those are confirmed in terms of the date that they will come, then I will direct some of them here and to other of the districts surrounding Akampa, so that the restoration can begin. I have already announced that we're going to be pivoting very shortly from the delivery of relief aid, food packages and care packages and the like, and we're going to use the resources that we would normally use to deliver those. As I see a truck here from the JDF with a lot of relief packages in it. When I say we are going to pivot and transition, you will still see the JDF trucks, but instead of the food packages, what you will see is the building materials, because that is what we want them to be out there doing now, to move into the recovery stage of the disaster, to get your roofs back on. And for those who are still in need of relief items and care items, meaning you have lost your work, you can't go to work, you can't farm, you can't sell, we will be giving what we call coupons, or some people, we may be able to give them a digital card, and you go to the supermarket or the corner shop or wherever in your community, and you get the same things that you would get in the food package.
Now my viewers and my subscribers, my reason, they saw Andrew Holness trick the people them to take him digital card, because you know say the people them hungry and Jamaica people love them belly. Him a trick them, and me go show no how, because him say him a go stop bringing the release truck them with food and start bringing building material, yeah, for help build up. Him say the people them now have no job, and enough of them now have nothing to do and stuff like that, yeah. So for them people that we are suffer, cause him know them a suffer, him a go put the food them in the shop, and them have to take the digital ID or the digital coupon or whatever. You understand? Forget them food. So him basically I use food to bribe the people them to take whatever ID we want them to take. Then on top of that, these people, maroon people, are hard working people. You don't need to bring in a soldier and no foreign people to come and put on the people them roof. You just need to give the people them the supply. And trust me, you'll be surprised for see. Give them the blueprint of what you want them to do, and you will see if they don't do it. And pay the people them, so the people them can be independent. The people them don't want your handout, and if them sit down there and take your handout, they are just as worthless as you think they are. Make them know go when I want my handout. We will work and build up a community. Just give with the help. We don't want to sit down and wait for the handout. We want to work on your pay away. So the thing go. Number 28. Move from your son.
That has to be built out. It takes a little time to do that. We are hoping that we can get it up and running in most communities within the next 3 to 4 weeks. And so you're going to see less of the trucks with food packages and more of the trucks with the things necessary to help you to restore your roof. That is getting you back up to normalcy. I'm going to ask Minister Hill from the Ministry of Investment, Industry and Commerce to make contact here to get the shops up because Chief Curry tells me that you have about 38 commercial establishments here, and many of them have been destroyed and are not operational. We want to get those operational again. So to get the economic life of the community going again, so that you can return very quickly to normalcy. The principal made an impassioned plea. He wants me to direct JPS to send 50 of the 300 linesmen here that are coming. Well, I can't promise you that I can send them here, but I will certainly give some directions as to a priority that should be established to allow for the resumption of normalcy and electricity. I'm not sure you can get it back in time for January 6th, but as quickly as possible.
So here we see Mr. Curry coming out saying that whatever deal that he signed with number 28, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, him now I make video I say him now want the military relief help from the Prime Minister. So before you sign the paper, you never say Andrew Holness want bring in the army down there on the Cockpit country. Do you know what that means? So how can you sign paper and then now you come and make this speech? Listen to his speech.
Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, on behalf of indigenous people of Akompong and the wider Maroon districts of Cockpit Country, I send sincere appreciation for your recent visit to our community and for the government of Jamaica's expression of support following the destruction caused by Hurricane Melissa. Your presence, accompanied by the several ministers of government, marked the first official visit of your administration to Akompong since my election in 2021, and it was warmly welcomed by our people. We remain grateful for the humanitarian gesture extended to the Akompong people and for your willingness to mobilize resources, particularly those of the JDF military, to assist with the recovery efforts. We also acknowledge your reference on international partners including Ethiopia, Ghana, and Rwanda, who have expressed readiness to assist in the island's rebuilding efforts. Honorable Prime Minister, following a deep, comprehensive internal review and a formal deliberation, the full Maroon Council has this time decided not to accept the offer on the militarization of the space during the recovery effort. The full Maroon Council instead has resolved to continue with the response, utilizing civilian resources from our joining communities and our partners, both locally and internationally, who have offered to the community their assistance in the recovery efforts.
Oh boy, sometime now Mr. Curry did sit down on table with Andrew Holness and I see them have white paper and like him a sign paper, so I don't know where him sign, you know, but I don't think I know once you sign, sometimes you sign away your rights. However, we here to see how this played out, because I know from once you go take number 28 food and number 28 things, number 28 don't give nothing for that leader. You better give back him things, them else a war, because number 28 I go be war you for him food. Let's hope it not come to where 28 David, the Cockpit country, like how Israel deal with Gaza. Mad. Now my viewers and subscribers, but now my buyers, you know, the book of MASICKA labor right, you know. But I tell you, say, this a song here, Dirty from Tamale, is MASICKA worst day. But I tell you, say, the man day with MASICKA grimy, you know. You don't know nothing about the art of war, brother. One bag of lyrics with one bag of disrespect, doesn't win clash. It's so Tamale. versatile. You see how him unique with them clash. Do you see not one disrespect like, you know what I mean, suck this or suck that, he using that song for annihilate you. You need to learn the art of war. You need to learn the art of war. For number one, you can't say you want war with a man who have real experience. Where dopey people go prison, get bind up. Them know where it's like, them been through it. You're just a pretty boy. You come from uptown, never get no detention in school. Father have money, father powder you. You live the good life growing up. You never been to Central. You never been in a jail cell. Your name never called for analyzing a man yet. Not even a mosquito, much less. You don't know the real art of war. You need to stay in your habitat, loud the street, yeah? Because if from your choose Andrew Holness, as some know as a ghetto youth, you is not a ghetto youth. You is a uptown youth, want to be a ghetto youth. You don't know nothing about ghetto car, no ghetto youth. No support number 28. None. You understand? And for your support number 28, the odds is against you, brother. But that's not my point. My point is that Tamale deal with you wicked. Show you how real artists deal with clash. Now, everywhere you go up on the internet, you see them and make talk about this clash. And so far, dirt them on the line. MASICKA, the Mosquito, are the biggest talk that are the clash. Because that Mosquito stuck per MASICKA for life now. Everybody are calling Mosquito. You understand? So you know, say, Tamale annihilate him. Now we are anticipating for hear what Mosquito come back with. And I come back with no 10 minutes or no 5 minutes or no one back you know what I mean, lyrics, you know. Because you sang them just flat, them dead. We need something for wow way. We make we want dance. Everything have a connect. And this is the war vibes cartel with brother. Listen, bruv. You say, oh, Tamale deal with you. The man say, you're a coward. You're afraid for client, for challenge the brata boss. The biggest. Mr. Tamale, bust your ass in the brother. Brother, me say you have to come good because you, if you don't go challenge Alkaline, you know, you can't win this clash, you know. And that way I tell you, and I real thought that because this is the thing there. All of these things are facts. Telling the man to go near mouth him mother rate, all of those things are common things. That no win clash. The man say, you forgot challenge the brata boss. And as you can say, the man can defend it because him take on Alkaline and Alkaline run. And Alkaline don't answer Tamale and Tamale call him out. Brawling. Not like you. I hide behind and Holness and I go on like you bad. My lords off for your MASICKA. My lords off for your Mosquito. Yeah, you don't name no MASICKA. Mosquito your name from today day. You understand? Mosquito. That's the thing there. Alright, check out this video. I tell you, I beat the Mosquito. No, Mosquito, you can't take this seriously. What am I doing with that? Tamale come out on a birthday cake over there. Mosquito see some bloated birthday cake star right there. Look at that. No, the demon come out for him, dog. It's about dealing with Mosquito so Papa Jesus. What you go here some people come here and tell you say, yo, me don't know get this animation there, but me I tell you say bad. What Papa Jesus, what you go on? Again, brother, by Sparta Now, well, the creator to say, Tamale is a very crafty artist, very unique artist. Yeah, it's hard to challenge these kind of artists. We're full of so much flow and full of so much style. MASICKA, you have to leg up out of the one room that we're in, brother. Yeah, man. You have to buy a big apartment, brother, and start pay some proper property tax. The one bedroom that we're living in now, brother. Anyway, we're there, wait. We're there, wait for a response. Yeah? Alright, Mosquito, we're there, wait. For now, hold this.
You're dead now, pussy.
Yes, the Clarence say, me no afraid of nobody. I wonder if this man is having a mental breakdown. You know that video was shot at the opening of a new police station in Westmoreland? The man went there to cut the ribbons at the opening of a new police station in Westmoreland and got on stage in front of law enforcement officers. Knowing that he's being recorded and it's going to be publicized all over television, and declared, "Me no afraid of nobody." And what if the people didn't create memes about him? They're gonna create memes too, and they're gonna toe to everybody we talk about him. Because if a war we want, a war him gonna give away. I mean, they have a mental breakdown, and he's the leader of the country. Madman at the helm. On the knee to get Andrew from behind the damn steering wheel. His actions and words are reckless and inflammatory. I also read that he encouraged his supporters, labor rights supporters and bloggers, to come online and argue with anybody that talk bad about him. What kind of man with any kind of masculinity can't take criticism? Andrew Holness, you're in a public profession. You're the one that signed up to be Prime Minister of Jamaica. When we tell us that we don't want you to be Prime Minister of Jamaica, you still rigged the votes. You stole the election. You know? So anything where you get, sir, you're going to take it. If you don't want the heat, get the hell out the kitchen. Because we're coming for you, sir. We don't want you as Prime Minister. The articulate minority don't want it as a Prime Minister. The inarticulate majority were the ones that you bought with KFC and $5,000 if they got that much. But we don't want you as Prime Minister, sir. You cannot represent me. If you were even my father and got on stage and made that statement, I would be embarrassed. And as a citizen of Jamaica, I am embarrassed for you, and I'm embarrassed for our country. You're not a leader. Step down. Resign.
No. You can't deal the Maroon ground, so I send it 3 times for a week. Me bumbo club.
Separate the rice from the meat.
World kitchen and separate the rice from the meat. No little joke. Sit down and fully of meat. The things in nobody a dog go.
Food is not good, but why it's so mixed up? Why it look like this? Why it look like this?
Now, viewers and subscribers, I hear some people saying that these people are ungrateful because they complaining about the food they're getting. No, let's be fair. If you get that kind of food 3 days in a row, all they're saying is just separate the food them. Put the rice different from the meat. To me, that look like, you know, when time I cook, I like my curry chicken, and then the next morning you just throw in everything and mix it up and warm it up. That's what that look like to me. Now, World Kitchen of Jamaica, I know you can do better than that, and I know say Sean Paul don't like that. However, only can get the people them the food like this sometime. No, because them a beg. Come on now.
That's Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Opposition members, though, had some questions, had some concerns. We're joined by the opposition spokesperson on finance, Julian Robinson. Mr. Robinson, appreciate you joining us as always. Thank you so much.
Good evening to you, Dion, and good evening to your listeners.
I know you did ask some questions as the opposition leader raised some issues as well. For you, hearing of this multi-billion US dollar package, what are your major questions at this point?
Well, I think we need to get the details. Let me start off by saying I think it is a positive thing for the country that the international financial community has responded quickly. But the devil is always in the details. So the questions I asked were, what are the terms of the majority of these things are loans. Of the 6.7 billion, only 12 million US was in grants, which are for technical assistance. So everything else is loans. So we are taking on debt. So what would be important to understand is what are the terms of the debt that we're taking on? What interest rates are we paying? What's the tenor of the debt? Are we going to be benefiting from like a moratorium on interest? The problem is we know none of these things. So while it is important that, because we obviously need the money to deal with the recovery and the rebuilding, it is equally important to know what we're taking on. And unfortunately, the government said they don't have those details at this point in time, which I found a little surprising, because I felt if you had discussions with the IFIs, even if you haven't dotted every I and crossed every T, you should be in a position to say in broad terms, you know, these loans are 20-year things at this interest rate, and we have a 3-year moratorium on interest, something like that. But none of those details were available. And as such, it makes it difficult to do the assessment, for example, of when you look at the projections for debt to GDP and what it will move to. The projections that the minister spoke about in Parliament do not account for the $6.7 billion that will be added to the debt stock over a 3-year period.
Let me just go to what the finance minister had to say about the managing debt to GDP.
It's really a shame that the international financial community is still...
Okay, let me just go ahead with Mr. Robinson then. In terms of the that issue that you mentioned, one of the things the finance minister was stressing was that the country will be able to manage, were the word she used, the debt to GDP ratio, and therefore she wasn't visualizing or wasn't going to be projecting any increase. Let's listen in.
Madam Speaker, for those who are speculating about what funds we have received thus far, we've been utilizing most of our own funding, as well as what we received for insurance proceeds. And I'd like to say, as we go forward, we will obviously increase the granularity of what we report on, but I can say that I can report that all in-kind supplies that were consigned to ODPEM will be accounted for. You heard Prime Minister talk earlier about the system that is becoming available there. At our seaport and airports, all of the in-kind that passes there for individuals, companies, charities that come through customs will be accounted for. Already I have a report from customs that shows me the value, how many persons or how many what was the input through the customs system. Individuals who bring suitcases or of supplies for families and friends via their checked or unchecked baggage on flights, obviously that's not going to be accounted for by the government. Cash and kind sent to the opposition, families and friends, obviously is not going to be accounted for by the government. So if anybody wants to know how much the opposition has received, it is a question that should be...
Okay, listening there, let's just take it there. The Finance Minister, Favour Williams, there talking in Parliament. So is it that you're saying, based on the information we have at this point, or don't have, Mr. Robinson, you think it's coming up with the doing deep analysis then on what we can expect for some of these projections and levels isn't possible at this point?
It's difficult to do because, for example, the program is 6.7 over a 3-year period. We don't know yet what we will draw down in year one. You must.
Sorry, just for my listeners, 6.7 billion US dollars.
US over a 3-year period. So we don't know, for example, are we pulling down 2 billion in year one? You must have an initial increase in the debt to GDP because you are borrowing more than you had planned, and your GDP is going to contract because tourism has fallen off, other industries have contracted. So there must be a contract. There must be an increase in that ratio, which is expected. The question is, you want to be able to project accurately based on the additional debt you're taking on. But based on what the government said, that the minister said, the details of how the monies will be accessed and the terms have not yet been worked out. And so it becomes difficult to have that a more accurate projection for the medium term in terms of what your debt to GDP. And more importantly for me is working out what is the economic recovery plan. Right? I mean, we know you have to deal with restoration in the areas that are devastated, the initial things of cleaning up, clearing, housing, etc. But then going forward to the medium term, in the 6 to 9 to 12 months, what are going to be the plans to grow the economy? We know there's going to be capital expenditure, but as I said yesterday, we have not been able to spend our capital budget over the last 4 or 5 fiscal years. How are we going to manage differently now so that we can grow faster coming out of this natural disaster? So those were part of the questions that I had and other members had that we weren't able to get answers to, and I asked the minister when would she be in a position to come back to the parliament with the details, and she couldn't give a specific date on that. She said sometime in the future.
In relation to information flow, the minister made mention in that clip of a comment the Prime Minister had made. He spoke of this inventory system that's being designed. At one of the press conferences I went to, were told by ODPEM that a special system is being designed, a special bespoke, meaning custom-made system is being designed to show inventory and to show the receipt and the use of all the funds and relief efforts and so on. That is not yet available, that kind of information on a broad scale.
For example, I think it would be helpful, like for the website, for you to have a daily tracker or weekly or whatever it is. So you can say, we have, I know they've said this in press conferences, we've raised X amount of money, we have used Y to do these things, because you're asking the public to contribute, and the public wants to know the monies have come in, what the monies are being used for, etc. I think it would enhance transparency if something like that was done and put on the website, so it's easily accessible information for everybody to see, as an example. And importantly, how we plan to use the money. So one of the questions I asked, the loan funds, are the loan funds specifically geared to just Melissa recovery things, or can they be used otherwise? That's important to know, you know, and what, are there any conditionalities related to these things? So, you know, as I said, it is a positive thing that the international financial community responded quickly, but the devil is always in the details, and the country needs to have a better appreciation of what the package itself will look like over the 3-year period.
The Prime Minister has said this is a huge opportunity for the country to rebuild in a modern way that will put us in an improved position to resist storms of this nature in the future. You agree with this idea of this money being a big opportunity?
Well, it depends on, all right, so one of the issues that, so in the areas, Westmoreland has probably, even though in dollar value, it was probably the second or the third worst parish, the number of houses destroyed was the largest in Westmoreland, because many of the houses are wood structure. Now, part of the reason they are wood structure is because people don't have land tenure. Now, if you're going to encourage people to build back stronger and better, they need to have security of tenure on the land. And so that's an issue that has to be fast-tracked and resolved so that people are not putting back up wood structures. Now, the reality, a Category 5 is not a lot that can withstand that, but you certainly are in a better position with a concrete block structure than you are with a wood structure. And ability to enforce building standards has to improve, because I think we know that, throughout our history, we have not been very good as a country in enforcing these standards. And so parish, local authorities working with central government will have to step that up. But the immediacy is you have to get shelter for people. I mean, we are 5 weeks in, and there are still people who have nothing over their head. And I know there are temporary housing that is being brought in that may solve some of the problem, but that's not tomorrow. So you have to figure out how you're going to help people who right now have nothing to have a roof over their head. So to me, I would, my expectation is to hear immediate, short, medium term in terms of what the planning is, and from the economic side, what is it that we're going to do differently using these borrowed resources so that we can build back stronger. We have heard it at a very broad level, but in terms of specifics, there's very little.
I just have one more question I'd like to ask you, if you could give me just a few more moments. I have to take a break and do some fundraising of our own here on Beyond the Headlines, so stay tuned, folks. We soon come. For staying with us, we continue with you on Beyond the Headlines. I'm Dion Jax Miller, just wrapping up a conversation with the opposition spokesperson on finance, Julian Robinson. Mr. Robinson, a lot of people have been asking if the PNP plans to publish its accounts of the fundraising it's been conducting for the hurricane.
I'm sure we will. I mean, we have done. I'm not an officer of the party, but the party does its annual reports, which are required by the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. We've published those summaries on our website, so I know the party would have no issue in doing that.
Why not on an ongoing basis, like you're asking of the government?
Why not what?
On an ongoing basis, like you're asking?
No, we do it annually, which is what is most accounts, when people prepare your accounts, is generally done on an annual basis, so that's what we do.
No, but this is a specific targeted fundraising account for a specific purpose.
So
I'm saying, sorry, let me just finish the question. So I'm saying, why not pull that out in the interest of transparency, which is what we've been talking about on the government side?
To you that I don't believe the party would have any difficulty in doing so. And I'm using the examples of what we have done. That we have done our annual reports. So I'm saying, from my perspective, I don't think the party would have any issue in indicating what has been raised so far and how those monies have been used.
Okay, we'll follow. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, now.